Alright, so I'm going to show you how to do skin retouching. Uh, kind of basic, kind of more advanced, uh, but this will be mostly frequency separation type of skin retouching with a little bit of dodge and burn. Uh, but first things first, I create a new layer. We're going to do cleanup first uh, with the patch tool. Also, I'm gonna show you different ways to do frequency separations. More than probably like 1,000 ways, but I'm gonna show you a couple that I use. But let's first do cleanup. So go over to pimple, then move it to a more cleaner spot of the skin. Make sure you have a tablet when doing this. It makes things a lot quicker and easier instead of using like your mouse trackpad. Also, we can use a spot healing brush. Yeah. Also, we can use a spot healing brush to make things quicker. Please just go over and it finds a new spot for you, essentially. The model has pretty good skin, so not much is needed. I try not to overdo things, especially when it comes to beauty. Technically, for beauty shots, I like editing with dodge and burn only, but the process just takes like fucking hours sometimes, depending on the skin of the model. So it's case by case. It depends on how much editing I want to do. Essentially, in most cases, frequency separation is fine. But yeah, so we're just gonna go through this. That's a mole. I'm gonna just leave it just cause. Also, if you want to be technical, you can remove the hairs, but honestly, frequency separations covers all this, so you don't necessarily have to go through one by one and do it like I'm doing now. Uh, Honestly, you can't see this shit only because I'm zooming in like 200%. In which cases it don't matter because nobody's gonna be zooming in that much, unless of course you're shooting for like a billboard. You might want to do that shit, but right now I'm just being anal and just doing it just cause. But I'm gonna show you frequency separation takes care of all this for you, so you don't have to do this. So I'm gonna stop before I get carried away. Yeah, see now I just wanna. Okay, yeah. Let's move on from that. Also, look at the eyes. I like to clean up the eyes a little bit too. Uh, it's not needed. Fuck it, it is needed when you're doing beauty, because beauty, editing, or just portraits in general, anything up close takes or shows a lot of detail. So you want to make sure all that shit is clear. So don't be afraid to zoom in on these photos. Yep. I'm gonna leave that. Clean up the hairs a little bit right there. Yeah. Clean that up. I like to remove the smile lines. Some people like to keep them. Not me. Not I. Remove all that shit. So you can do this with the spot healing, like that, or you get your clone stamp. You can honestly do a lot of shit in frequency separation also, but I like to personally do it before I even get to that. So like that. But I'm just go ahead and use spot healing. Be careful, sometimes you can fuck up. Let me do this. Yeah, that looks solid. Also zoom out, because sometimes you don't need to zoom in like that. So now let's see. Let's get the neck. I'm gonna use a patch tool with this. Honestly, a lot of skin retouching is a lot of it stems or starts from just to clean up. But as long as you have good cleanup, the rest is easy. And also the model skin. You know, if you got a model with good skin, that's always a big help. But you know, shit happens. Also, a good makeup artist. Good makeup artist goes a long way. Okay, so let's get started. I see a little like discoloration right here, right there. But I think I'm gonna do that in frequency separation. Blend that in. But highly recommend getting beauty retouch panels. Basically, they just set up your layers for you. There's countless videos out there that shows you how to do it, but frequency separation, it's all the same process. You got a low layer, a high layer. The high layer is a high rate. The high layer is uh, the high pass layer, so it's your details, uh, skin, sharpen, all that. The low is the colors, the blur. That's how you blend all the colors together. The high layer, you can still do skin cleanup with that, removing pimples, blemishes, all that. So just find out videos how to do it. It's very simple. I like using Beauty Retouch Panel because the shit they just set it up for you, so it makes the process a lot quicker. Uh, but so basically, set your blur radius. I go from anywhere between 8 and 12, depending on the image. I don't like it to be too blurred. I might even go higher. I'm gonna keep it at 12 for this. But the more detail you want to go a little bit higher, pretty much. So click OK. Sets it up for you. And then you got a empty layer. I do coloring in that, but also you can do it in the low layer, honestly. So first things first, I'm gonna show you. Let's see. I'm gonna show you two ways. So I'm gonna show you the first way. Basically, you want to turn off the high frequency layer and get on the low layer. Get your brush tool. Make sure it's very soft. Soft brush. You can play with this. It's all preference, really. I like to keep the opacity high and just work based off my flow. Keep the flow. I start around like 8. And what you want to do is just sample. So you want to sample the area. So for instance, this area, and paint. And we're doing the start of the blending. This is not the. That's a little too much. I'm actually turning it down a little bit. I like to build up. It's just kind of blending all the colors together for the start. I don't touch the highlights too much. You want to turn this brush down. Yeah, you're just painting, pretty much, all around. I used to edit like this. I found a quicker way actually to do it, and I kind of it seems a little bit more precise to me too. I'm about to show you after this. So just turn that back on. See the colors. I see a part fucked up. Well, not necessarily fucked up, but just the skin tone's a little different. Now, technically, I would want to burn that, but I'm just show you frequency separation way. But so after that, then you want to get you a lasso tool. Go over selected area, blur, Gaussian blur, and set your radius. Yeah, I still like to keep it pretty high. Probably like 13. We'll keep it right there. Now, go to the next section. Command F to just repeat it. Unless you want to change, you know, the radius. I don't really change it. I keep it about the same unless I feel like I need to. Zoom out with that. You also do down here too on her neck. Personally, for this method, sometimes you can like literally overdo it and it looks too soft. At least for my preference, but it works for some people. And even with that, so if you done with that, you can get you a dodge and burn just so it can fix this portion. So I'm gonna get the burn tool. Actually, let me delete that. I'll just do the whole setup. Dodge and burn setup. Basically, they just create help layers for you. I don't really use it too much other than in black and white. But for the dodge, it's pretty self-explanatory. You get an adjustment layer. For the burn, at least, you get the adjustment layer, move it down, then you invert it, Command I. Then you paint with white, just so it can show up. Then for the dodge layer, you move this all the way up. Bam, make it brighter. Dodge lights, burn dark. Pretty self-explanatory. Command I to invert it, and you get a brush and paint with white. So we're gonna do burn for this particular area. Opacity at 100. I keep my flow pretty damn low. I like to build up with that shit. Soft brush, and you just paint. Now this takes practice. Dodge and burn, editing dodge and burn only takes fucking practice, and I'm still learning with this shit. And it takes way longer. I see the difference. So it's more blended. And the whole thing with dodge and burn, it doesn't affect the texture. Like frequency separation kind of does. So that's why I don't use it all the time. I should actually create another whole video off dodge and burn, which I will. Basically, any part of the image that's too light, especially in the dark. So if I'm working on a burn layer and I'm working in a darker area and you see too many like light spots, you just darken it just to make it more even. The rest of the area. Yeah. So we'll keep that for now. but I do want to basically show you how this also frequency separation also you can mess with the hairs if you do want to essentially take them out, but also do cleanup. I like to keep it natural as possible, so I don't like to take out every single thing, but for the most part I'll take out a lot of things. Let's see if I can show you the difference. Yeah, taking out the hairs. I'm on the high layer, so this is the detail essentially layer essentially. Okay. So I might just clean up a little bit with the brush tool. I see some darks like this area. It's a little bit not even, so I'm gonna basically sample from a close area and blend that in a little bit. Yeah, perfect. So this area a little bit over here. Yeah. I'm gonna actually go back to burn and gonna burn this area slightly. Let's see, man. I love dodge and burn. See how simple that was? I'm actually dodge just a tad bit. Too much. Yeah. So that's pretty much it for this. I'm gonna show you the other way I also do frequency separation. So I'm gonna delete pretty much everything except the cleanup. We're gonna set up the frequency separation layers again. Keep this. I'm gonna move it down to like 8. So same exact thing, but instead of using like painting and doing a lasso, I'm going to do the mixer brush tool. Make sure this is selected just so we can get a transparent background. Then keep the wet 30%, low 30, mix 30. You can play with these numbers. I keep them pretty basic. You can play with the flow. This is by preference usually. You should mix your brush, make sure it's soft as always. And then essentially you're doing it just like painting. You're mixing the colors essentially. So you're going over each section and painting, but staying within the boundaries, right? So I'm not going from here and going up here, right? See how I fucked up? That's not what we want to do. You want to stay in the same area. Now, I feel like with this method, it keeps the texture on the skin a lot better to me. You can also use this. Oh shit! I went over Mo. But you can also use this tool to even go over things like wrinkles. So like clothes, if you got clothes that's wrinkled, you can use this tool for that also. So yeah, so we're just painting. Going over this section. For this section, I'm still dodge and burn though, just because it just works better. Now you can't overdo with this too, so just kind of be careful with that. If you want to even go in again and do some more cleanup, you can do that also. Alright, so I'm gonna clean up this a little bit. I'm gonna do a little bit more. So this can also blend out the colors, harsh colors too. Also on her neck, soften that up, mix the colors up. Basically that's what it's doing, just mixing the colors, blending it. See what it's done before and after. So it's settled for the most part. Even if you got texture on her lips, also go over that, make them a little bit more blended, softer. I think I like that. Let's see. So after that, let's do some Dodger Burn again. You can play with the layer just to bring out, you know, the lights and darks. We're gonna start with the burn. Put the flow at, do at 2%. Make sure everything is soft. And just paint. I even feel like 2% is too much. I'm gonna put it at 1. I like to build up with this. So I'm working on darks. Just make sure everything is blended. And you don't want to, like, when you're doing, say for instance, I'm doing the darks right now, I don't want to go over the highlights and start painting. That's not what we want. We want to stick to the darker areas. So I'm just kind of far out right now. I don't want to zoom in just yet, but now I am. But once you zoom in, be prepared to be there for 30 minutes or more, because that's when you see all the detail. But details matter, to tell you the truth, especially when you're doing close-ups and beauty. You want to make sure you getting every little thing, unless that's not the look you're going for, but practice at the end of the day. This shit takes time. And you gotta get small, you wanna get all them light spots. Just gonna blend it in. Frequency separation did help, so we don't have to do too much. But if you was doing this alone with just dodge and burn, you would be here a lot longer. So yeah, frequency separation is definitely a quicker way to retouch. Results may vary, because shit can look too fake. I don't personally like to edit like that. I like to keep things natural as possible. So yeah, that looks amazing to me. Let's go over here. Even turn the opacity down a little bit. Now what I'm doing is technical like micro dodge and burn, so I'm getting really close. I would recommend starting with global, so kind of far away doing dodge and burn. I love dodge and burn. Like, it's tedious, and you like, but once you in it and you like getting better at it, it starts to be more fun. Like, cause you're literally just moving lights and you're just moving light around essentially, like not touching the skin at all. Literally just changing the light around. Shit's amazing. And you would think, right? You would think like you don't need work, but you do. Zooming in and just changing the light from black and white to color, you really see like, okay, this can be better. Shit can always be better. This is crazy. Even when you shoot, like, you look at the back of the camera or your computer, like, oh, dang, I don't need much editing. Shit, put that motherfucker in the computer, put it in Photoshop and zoom in. You like, damn, this needs work. But it's all part of the game. Yeah, so I won't go into too depth with this dodge and burner, but it's just to show you pretty much how, it's done. So even if you do the dodge in darkened areas. Even by eyelid, it's a little too dark. So we want dodge shots just to blend it. Sometimes you might even have to go back to the darker areas. Don't forget about the neck area. Darker spots, just lighten it a little bit. Yeah, for the most part, that's fine. I don't like to do too much, like I said. Shit, this will even look fire as black and white image. But yeah, so once we're done with that, we're actually gonna create another dodge and burn. And this one will be more global. So we're gonna stay far back, keep our brush soft still. We can move the opacity and flow up a tad bit more. So I'm gonna tone it down on the actual layer. And for the dodge, you want to just make the light areas a little bit lighter just so they can pop more. So we're just going slightly over, even eyes a little bit, but slightly over the highlighted parts, shoulder, neck, even the hair. So I like to go over the highlights of the hair and just go over it slightly so we can make it pop more. Then we go to the burn, darken the areas. The darker area, I'm like barely going over this. Like I have my tablet on pin pressure, so I'm barely like touching it, essentially. So even eyes, lips. So this, I'm actually do like the roots. I like to darken the roots a little bit. Yeah. Bam. Makes a major difference. Maybe you want to tone it down, go tone it down a little bit. Yeah. Now let's let me show you how to do the eyes right quick. So just make a new layer, turn the blend mode to overlay, hit a paintbrush, make it white. Actually, let's just do, I'm gonna do it to normal first just so I can show you. Opacity 100, flow, keep it low. Then we're gonna go over the color part only. Now change the blend mode to overlay. Just slightly. I don't like to do too much with the eyes. I'll try to keep it natural as possible. But just enough little pop. I'm gonna turn this down a little bit. Damn, turn down even more. I just need a little pop, that's it. Yeah, perfect. Now, this is pretty much done, honestly. Let me take a screenshot and see how we started. Let's see. Before, after. Nice, clean, like not too much. Now you can sharpen this how you want. I like to do, I'm gonna just run an action then try to show you. I did this so long ago, but I like just forgot like how to actually like do it, if that makes sense. So I'm gonna, let's see, zoom in, bring out the skin details a lot better. Even with the hair, I like to not apply it to the hair, so I will erase it off the hair because I like the hair to look soft for the most part. And I might turn it down a little bit on here because I also put this back in capture 1 and kind of do a little bit more subtle retouching, like add grain, clarity a little bit, maybe change the coloring. So I do a lot of that in capture 1. So as far as with the, let's see if I remember, like I think you go image, no, layer, brightness, contrast, new adjustment layer, brightness, contrast. Okay, no, I forgot to do this shit. Scratch that. I will create another tutorial on how to do the sharpen, but basically you can just get a, you can go to image, apply image, and do it that way to add sharpen, or you can do a Lightroom, just tone up the sharpen mask, or you can do the capture 1, just move up the sharpen slider. But it's all a preference. Let me do a quick edit on her eye makeup. So you get another empty layer, change the blend mode to soft white, get a brush, soft brush as always, paint or sample from this area or any area close to it, you just color it. Just move it slightly over. This, and it's all about just making the colors pop a little bit more. So I'm actually toning this down a little bit, but let me see. So before, after, bam. Might shot. I'm gonna tone it down a tad, probably like 78. Yeah, bam. And that's pretty much it. Make this pop a little bit more with select the color, the neutrals. Yeah, that look nice. So it's pretty much it for this.